All right, let's dive into a world where hyperwealth and a sudden need for cash collide. A place where the key to unlocking millions isn't sitting in a bank vault. No, it's parked in the garage. We're talking about how Bugatti hypercars became one of the ultimate forms of collateral.
So, here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we'll get into why on earth a billionaire would need to pawn a car in the first place. Then, we'll break down the secret sauce, the formula that makes Bugattis such incredible financial assets. And after that, the best part. We'll get into the cars themselves, from the one-of-a-kind art pieces to the mind-bending speed demons and the cars that built the whole modern brand.
Okay, let's just get this out of the way. Why would a billionaire need to pawn a hypercar? It sounds like a problem from another planet, right? But honestly, understanding the answer is the key to this whole market.
So just imagine this for a second. You own something truly priceless, an asset worth tens of millions, but you need a huge chunk of cash, and you need it fast, like by the end of the week, for a huge business deal. The bank is too slow, and there's no way you're selling your pride and joy. So, what's the play?
Well, the answer is actually pretty brilliant. You don't get rid of the asset. No way. Instead, you leverage it. You use its incredible value to secure the cash you need, knowing that you can get your car back.
The financial tool they use is called a high-value pawn loan. It's all very confidential. The car acts as the security for the loan, the owner gets access to capital crazy fast, they go handle their business, and then they just pay back the loan to get their car back. It's all about getting liquidity without the liquidation.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Why Bugattis? I mean, there are lots of expensive cars out there, but not every car qualifies. There's a very specific formula that makes these machines as good as gold in a lender's eyes.
It all boils down to these three things. First, the brand name itself. I mean, come on, it's Bugatti. It's legendary. Second, they make so few of them, which guarantees they'll always be rare. And third, and this one is absolutely crucial, they have a clear history of selling for huge money at big public auctions. So a lender can see exactly what they're worth. There's no guesswork. That combo gives them all the confidence they need.
All right, enough theory. Let's see how this formula plays out with the actual cars, starting with the ones that are so rare they're basically mythical creatures. These are the real one-of-a-kind masterpieces.
And first up, we have the absolute pinnacle of automotive exclusivity, the Bugatti Love Waits for Noir. The name just means the black car, but its status is, well, anything but simple.
Get this. It is a one of one. That's it. Just one single car in the entire world. They'll never make another one. You literally can't get any more exclusive than that.
This quote from our source really says it all. You have to think of this less like a car and more like a piece of priceless sculpture that you can drive. With a value estimated around 14 million pounds, its one-of-one status makes it an incredibly stable asset, more than capable of securing millions in funding all on its own.
Now, this is a really cool example of how history itself creates value. On the left, you've got the EB110 from the 90s, an absolute icon. And on the right, you have the Centodieci, a modern hypercar built as a direct tribute to it. They only made 10 of the Centodieci for the entire planet, and its value is just supercharged because of that direct connection to Bugatti's heritage.
So we've talked about rarity. Now let's switch gears and talk about a totally different kind of value creator, raw, unbelievable speed. These next cars weren't just built to be fast, they were built to make history. And making history is very, very good for your resale value.
First up, the Veyron Supersport. This thing was a landmark machine. It was an evolution of the original Veyron, and it was engineered for one reason and one reason only: to completely shatter the production car speed record.
And because it actually did it, that legacy is now permanently baked into its value. It will forever be known as the car that broke the record. That gives it this massive appeal to collectors, which makes it an incredibly solid and predictable asset to borrow against.
And look, if the Veyron Supersport set the stage, its successor, the Chiron Supersport 300 Plus, came in and just dropped the mic. This car was built to celebrate breaking a barrier that most people thought was pure science fiction.
And that's the magic number: over 300 miles per hour, a speed nobody thought was possible in a road car. Because only 30 were ever made, that officially documented achievement is what underpins its absolutely staggering value, which can go all the way up to 5 million pounds.
All right, so we've seen the one-offs and the record breakers. Let's wrap up with the cars that are the very foundation of Bugatti's modern reputation. You can think of these as the pillars that hold up the whole brand. You can really see the brand's whole modern journey right here. It all kicked off with the Veyron 16-4, the car that just rewrote the rulebook. Then came the Chiron, which took that formula and perfected it. And then you get the Devo, a track-focused, sharpened evolution of the Chiron. With only about 40 cars in the world, it took that perfection and made it even rarer.
And this chart shows something really important about value. A standard Chiron is already an incredible asset, right? But when you make it more specialized and even rarer, like they did with the Devo, the value just shoots up. The Devo regularly sells for way more than its original price tag, which just proves that more rarity creates way more demand.
So, to bring it all home, this is how the whole thing works. An expert checks out the car's value and history. A loan offer is made, the cash gets wired almost immediately. And then, once the loan is repaid, the owner gets their irreplaceable car back. It's simple, it's efficient, and for the people who need it, it's incredibly powerful.
So after looking at all this, the big takeaway is really clear. We have to completely change the way we think about what these incredible machines actually are.
They're not just fancy transportation. They're not just collector's items. They are high-performance, drivable financial instruments. Think about that. They are real, tangible assets that have a proven value. And that value can be used to get millions in cash on demand.
And that leaves us with one last, pretty fascinating question. As the value of these ultra-rare assets keeps going up and up, could this be the future of banking for the ultra-rich? Using tangible things like hypercars as collateral, could that become the new normal in high finance? It's definitely something to think about.